whole squad on the mission, you got to listen. We PoPolitickin, it's so dope when it kick in. You can get in where you fit in. We straight PoPolitickin, the whole squad on the mission, you got to listen. You know what this is when we PoPolitickin. My money long like division, I proposition to put a fist in. We straight PoPolitickin. Hey yo, I rise like the sun in the east, running the streets. Same people that was coming in peace, some in the beast on the microphone. It's never a long and hard task. For God, I'm gon' smash they blog and podcast. Introduction to journalism 101 with Pharaoh PoPolitickin, about where I'm from and what I do. What's up? It gotta be good. Interviewing everybody, you know they probably could. Take all the blood, sweat, and tears, working all them years, putting in 10,000 hours. It empowers careers. From the Baby and Megan Thee Stallion to Yo Gotti, high as a kite, jet life, currency in the party. With MC Light, J Prince said I rap a lot. Super Saiyan Black Kakarot with a Macintosh laptop in my Apple Watch, smoking Fraggle Rocks. 4 eyes, got more lines and hooks than a tackle box. What? The whole squad on the mission, you got to listen. We PoPolitickin, it's so dope when it kick in. You can get in where you fit in. We straight PoPolitickin, the whole squad on the mission, you got to listen. You know what this is when we PoPolitickin. My money long like division, I proposition to put a fist in. We straight PoPolitickin.
Then Priscilla died and had all the tears built up. Stepfather was a step further than my last father. If you ask God, the marriage lasted like his past jobs. Cheated on her, beating on her, thinking he's not much of a bad guy. If I ever talk to him now before I ask why, yo, yap your jaw type is all enough until he has an appetite for applesauce. Now you kinda know now why rap is raw. Don't ever mistake a brother like me for acting soft. I was a bastard, spoiled to the core. Never got enough, I was gluttonous for more. My mama Tina was my auntie. I don't care for titles, always know they in my family. Court orders, papers, and CPS cases. No, I never cared, cause the lovers never changed. And Priscilla fought hard in the yard. Now she waiting up for God while we holding up the guard. And always thank Tina when she had to be in charge. Sacrifice 11 instead of living a facade. You know I'm with baby. Facts. You on the ground, but your son's above it. You overground, know you under my soul, but I hope you love it. Say word. Might as well let the hair out.
You over here trying to floss on me and shit. I see you. All right. Welcome back to PoPolitickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Check us out on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. 1212 and place to be with AWOL Da Mindwriter. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain. Sega, fuck Nintendo.
I would say I like the name. Like the name.
Thank you.
How did the name come about?
All right, so let's talk about it. Back in the day, I remember as like, you know, when I wanted to become a hip hop artist or a rap, whatever the case, I remember as a kid, like trying to come up with like names and shit. I had this one name, I keep thinking to this very day, like trying to go back into, you know, into Pandora's box. Like, yo, I had this name, I think it was called Back Off. It was some shit. I got it off of like the, you know, like those truck flaps, those mud flaps. I got it off of that. This is like
back in like 03, 04. So, and I didn't think of myself to becoming a rapper or a hip hop artist. The name AWOL really came from, I was at camp like about 18 years ago now, like around this time, like 18 years ago. So the first day of orientation, I was at this place called Samuelfield Y. Shout out to Samuelfield Y. How I'm doing, like YMYWHA, by the way. I remember going to orientation and like sitting in a circle and everybody was introducing themselves to each other. So no one really knew me at that time, you know. Like I'm a kid from Western Nassau, Long Island, you know, on the border of Queens. You know, I've been out and about, but you know, no one knows me. Like no one knows me on that side. So I was like, you know what? Just thinking of it, like, yo, my turn comes up. What am I gonna name myself? And then I just came up with AWOL, I'm always out of line. And then it graduated after my mom passed away on June 25th, 2005, because that's actually initially what got me started, you know, to rap. It went from the always out of line, the Mindwriter, to the aggressive writer out of line, the Mindwriter.
Okay. So were you in the military too, or no?
What happened?
You in the military?
Nah, it's funny too because talks about that, like, or thinks that I was when he hit the name AWOL. It just like honestly is because I was like I was never in one place. I was always everywhere I wasn't supposed to be. Well, everywhere then you know, but where I was supposed to be. So it was crazy. Like my parents or my folks could tell you I could never sit down as a kid. I was, you know, wild. Never mind.
So wait, where you from? Where's your hometown?
Originally, I was born in the same hospital as Prodigy, R.I.P. to the God Prodigy, from, you know, of Mobb Deep, of course.
What hospital?
He was born just like I was born in the Nassau University Medical Center, or NUMIC, in East Meadow. At the time, it was, even though it was East Meadow, it was called, so technically I had Hempstead on my birth certificate. And then after a while, like years later, they changed it. I had somewhere along the lines, I had my old birth certificate somewhere, and I remember seeing it. And then I lost my birth certificate doing something, moving around or whatever. But long story short, I was raised, I was born in Hempstead and raised in Great Neck, New York. And that's where a lot of my, you know, my background is now. Like, you know, that's originally where I'm from. So, and I rep it to the death, you know, as much as you know, it's a quiet neighborhood. It's a quiet town, you know, it's a quiet little very famous Jewish neighborhood, you know, very prominent, you know. You know, I feel like in a sense, I had like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air story, except, you know, I didn't have riches like that. Just in a different neighborhood, different environment, you know. You don't expect kids, especially in the 90s, black kids in the 90s, to be around shit like that. And, you know, I guess I, along with everybody else, was, I guess, one of the lucky ones. You know?
Who were your hip hop influences?
Jesus. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Oh man. Redman at the top of my head right now, because literally I listen to him all the time.
You said Redman?
Yeah, Redman. Oh man, let's talk about it. My first hip hop album was I talk about it all the time. West Side Connection was my first hip hop album of all time, like I ever bought.
We actually got a thread going on in this Facebook group I'm in. It's a white guy. I was surprised because he posted that CD too. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's a good CD to start with for your first CD. That Gangsta Make the World Go Round. That's that one. Bow Down. That one.
Yeah, I think that was the one. That was the first one.
Make the World Go Round was hard. That CD still hard.
Yeah, bro. Like, I didn't understand things then, like the concept of things. I was a kid, you know, so a lot of those, like, you know, like you got Nas, of course Nas, you got Prodigy, Mobb Deep. We wouldn't say Mobb Deep because we're not gonna leave out Havoc, you know, collectively. You got KRS-One. Shit, man. The list goes. Public Enemy, you know, EPMD, MF Doom, RIP, you know, Idea, and for the RIP Idea, if no, you know, no one really remembers Idea or mentions Idea, and he was an ill MC. You know, there's a lot of people, man. LP from, you know, Def Jux or AKA Running Jewels, you know, Cold Flow, DJ Premier. I can name producers, MCs, really just anything. From old school legends to new school legends to the founders of this shit to the people that don't even have a name but have literally done their contributions in hip hop. Those are my and that's my inspiration. Graffiti writers are my inspiration. B-boys are my inspiration. Hip hop is my inspiration.
So what made you, I guess, go from a fan to a, you know, in the game? What made you switch over?
I was always fascinated in music. You know, I had daydreams as a kid, you know, as a child, as a toddler. Not toddler, excuse me. You know, young, you know, little, you know, adolescent. I was, you know, about 7 or 8 and having daydreams like, you know, I was rapping and everything, big gold chain and around like women in bikinis and, you know, like that kind of thing. And I didn't know what that was, you know, at the time. I didn't know what that meant to me, you know, and it was just so cool to be around it, you know what I'm saying? And I've been around this hip hop shit for like since a kid. So, but I didn't know shit. My brother Troy, you know, shout out to him. He put me on to, you know, to a lot of the game, a lot of the music. And I feel like just witnessing that, I'm like, yeah, I want to become a rapper. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it was always I didn't have the confidence because I felt like I just didn't have the swag, you know, I didn't have the vocabulary, you know, things of that nature. This shit takes a lot. And I guess one day, you know, because I was really, in 2004, so this is like middle school years, like 8th grade, I had gotten Tony Hawk's Underground for like PlayStation 2. And I remember, you know what I'm saying? And that was and I'm a gamer. Oh,
we can talk about that too. I'm a gamer too.
Yo, shout out to the gamers, man, in the room, man. Shout out to because if it weren't for the gamers, where would we be? You know what I mean? I wouldn't be here talking about this shit. But yeah, like I was playing Tony Hawk's Underground, and I remember the first song I heard playing this shit was Iron Galaxy from Cannibal Ox, another one of my big inspirations. It's Cannibal Ox, because that's what got me into that shit. Cannibal Ox literally introduced me into Cannibal Ox and LP literally introduced me to underground hip hop. Introduced me like the whole red carpet. I remember like listening to Iron Galaxy and I'm mesmerized. What the fuck is this? I paused the game, went into the menu and listened to the song. That's how drawn in I was. I used to do that as a kid, you know, with the Tony Hawk games and shit. I've been playing Tony Hawk games and buying Tony Hawk games since the early 2000s, since 99. And I'm in this, and low key, I'm in the skateboard culture too, believe it or not. And it's just crazy, man. Like, I didn't think that I ever delved into this shit the way that I did, man. And like, it still fascinates me. Like, that one song just opened the door. That one song. Next thing you know, I'm going through history of Definitive Jux, and I'm going through all these other artists, and the next thing you know, I'm like, yo, I want to become a hip hop rapper. I want to become a hip hop artist. How do I sign up? What do I need to do? I mean, even to a point in middle school, I had this recording this like recording program, which was never heard of, but it was like, I guess, a thing. I had this music teacher by the name of Mr. Byers. He was my music and computer teacher. And long story short, like, and I guess he tested us, you know, all of us on the mic, or my class including. And I guess I didn't have it, but I didn't have it. I used to freestyle. I didn't really have confidence, man. I just didn't have much confidence. I didn't believe in myself. And I think it was just a little practice, like over the years. I'm just constantly listening to like the Weatherman, and I'm just getting ideas, and I'm just coming like, yo, like a lot of these lyrics just fascinated me. So I started writing lyrics, and they weren't up to par. I was like cursing in every bar I was writing, but I feel like after my mom died, it really established me to become a hip hop artist. Like I remember even freestyling like perfectly, like no mess ups, no screw ups. And that was like the first time I've ever done that, you know? And I felt like that was my breaking point. Where like, all right, this is it. Like this is what.
So what do you want the people to know about you?
Wait, say that one more time? Sorry.
I said, what do you want the people to know about you?
All right, simple. I'm just a regular guy who lives a misadventurous life. Like, I've had, you know, like a lot of the stories, like a lot of this song, it's real emotion. It's real stuff. It's real things that, like things, a lot of the stuff I really put out there are things that really happened. So, but I can't, you know, you don't have to take it from me. You can't even listen to music, or the people around me will tell you, you know? I want people to know that I'm not a rapper, man. I'm an MC. So I'm an artist. And behind that, like before all that, I'm just a regular guy, man. Just doing what he loves. Isn't that all what we're here for?
I know, right?
You know? I love music. I love women. Yeah, I love the women. Love weed, and I love video games.
Yeah.
I would say I love, but
What's up?
I just love what they can do.
What you say again? Yeah, broke up a little bit.
No, I was saying I would say I love a lot of things. I love money. I love music. I love money, but only for what, like for what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as it helps me feed my family, it keeps my bills paid, it keeps me, you know, my car on the road, clothes on my back. You know what I'm saying? The essentials. All the other shit, you know, it's all good. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, if I could let anyone know that, I'm humble, man. Humility is key. Peace, God.
So, and then you was kind of talking about, so I saw you got a new project out, Sega AM2?
Part 2.
So what's the name about? Where did the name come from?
All right, so Sega AM2 came from the origin. It's honestly the sequel of its startup Sega AM2 or AM1. Sega AM2 was originally AM1. And the name honestly just comes from the fact that, well, first of all, my love of Sega goes far beyond. Like way far beyond. So people think that this is just a gimmick. This is not a gimmick. This is my real life. Like, this is what I do.
You talking about Sega Genesis, right? Or you talking about Sega Genesis, the console, or what you talking about?
General Sega. See, people don't understand. Sega AM2, or it's really just the arcade. It's just the amusement development. It's just the research and development team that creates a lot of the arcade games and stuff. As a matter of fact, they're responsible for a lot of the games that we know today. And if you think about this, that no one knows about, Virtua Fighter, you know the game Virtua Fighter, right? You know Tekken, right? Guess what? Tekken was created around the same time Virtua Fighter came out. But guess what? Sega were the first people to ever create virtual reality movement. If it weren't for them, Tekken would have never existed. A lot of engines that
Tekken was on Dreamcast, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What you said what, Virtual Fighter?
No, I said one Tekken on Dreamcast.
Nah, that's total Sony PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, but it's Namco. Like they're on some other shit. But yeah, like Sega implemented a lot of ideas that eventually other video game corporations ended up either using or implementing afterwards. So like that's why I like low key say that, yo, like don't ever underestimate the power of Sega. Sega started a lot of shit, a lot of stuff, a lot of games, a lot of things. There were a lot of monumental things that happened because of Sega. And you know, even though like I'm always Sega fuck Nintendo. I mean, it's just jokes, but at the end of the day, Sega did again. We started a lot of shit, man. So going back into the question, Sega AM2 it's just the arcade version. It's like, what I've known to be most. Like when I would go into the arcades and shit, and I would try these games out, and it was drawn to me, and I felt like I needed like a project that not just only stood out like as who I was, but just defined like what I rap about, like what who I am, like collectively. You know what I mean? So Sega AM2, it's a story really about my childhood and my life on, like like from my starting point to my growth now. That was the first project. The second one was establishing, which is crazy because I didn't think that, it was a lot of twists and turn of events that happened in the project, into the album, for the part two. There's a lot of things that happened, I got into a car accident, a near fatal car accident, I was, riding around with unknowingly a drunk driver and crashes through a tree at 125 miles an hour.
Mm.
And if you see on the cover, the scar on my face is just basically a representation of what I went through. It's a stamp. Like my stamp of, not my stamp of approval, but my stamp of like, I guess, authenticity. Like, this is me, Like, I went through life as well as death and came back to life for this record. So much that I even rehearsed NBA Jam out of my coma.
What do you mean by that?
Like this record, like this album meant a lot to me. Like I was in the process of like, completing it. And then not completing, I was like halfway done with the project, with the album. And then I get into the car accident. And then, it's like in between that, like I almost felt like I either wasn't gonna rap anymore or I couldn't rap anymore. And this might be the end of my road. It was a lot of pain and suffering with that record, man. And I feel like this album in general, like defines like who I am, and just I guess you could just say my spiritual and my musical growth.
We
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm saying, what kind of injuries did you sustain?
I went through the windshield and I got a scar on my face. I lost my spleen.
Yeah.
I got a metal leg. I got pins in my ankle. All kinds of shit. And that, mind you, I also got a pin in my left hand. When 2 days after the accident, I was literally sitting in the hospital bed, and I remember like looking at my hand. My hands were popped up and wrapped up, like wondering what's going on. Like, why does my hand hurt so bad? Literally, my shit was pushed in all the way to the like. So they had to do emergency surgery, and now I'm practically like quarter cyborg.
So how you feel? Like how your body feel now? Probably off. You be out to take meds and stuff, or what you gotta do?
It's a lot. I mean, a lot of healing, man. A lot of healing and patience. I had a lot. I had some real like real solid, definite, people that held me down and took care of me and assisted me during my time of like, ugh. Like, honestly, my ladies that I want to shout out or, that helped me so much is, my best friend, Nick, and my fashion stylist, Nikki Sapienza, and my homegirl, Alicia Gamble, because if it weren't for those two and the incredible doctors and everyone else that was involved, I wouldn't have been at all at 100%, let alone like the love and everything, that just the support from my family and friends, man, that shit was just crazy. Like, and even to this day, thinking about it, mentally, it does kind of fuck with me, like what I went through. But I feel like with Sega AM2 Part 2, this is like, I'm actually able to share some of like what happened or what I went through during the time of this process. So yeah. I'm actually to talk about this now and actually being able to express also about the album, about what I went through with the album process.
Yeah, I saying you got you dealing with PTSD. Is it from from just life or the accident? Like which one is it like from, or just everything?
I guess you can say like the accident more so. I'm like, I'm still going through traumatic experiences. It's crazy, man. People just think that like, you just brush some shit like this off. This shit is not like when you go through any traumatic experience, no matter if it's a car accident. I want people to understand you don't just brush that shit off right away. And not everyone thinks like the way you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's suspected to think the way you think until you either meet that person or you're just in a circle of people. If you're in that community. But you're not supposed to assume thinking that like, someone thinks like you, or because you're going through something that someone else has to go through it. We all live individual lives, and respectively, like I feel like, if you hear a story, you should just hear them out and try to like, understand, not overstand and think that you know what I mean, or try to assume. I think people like assume that people go through traumatic experiences, they're just supposed to write it off and be okay. Like some people still go through things and live day by day with these new challenges. And however, they just go about it as if like nothing was wrong. And I feel like I think it's God, man. Like God is helping me see through, and he has been helping me see through. And, I think that's how I sustain my injuries mentally and physically too. So, and also my doctor.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, is it hard for you to like do you drive, or is it hard for you to be in the car? Or
is it hard for me to be in the car? No. Is it hard to be in the car if I don't know you? Yes. If I don't know you or if I don't feel comfortable with you, I'm not getting in the car.
Would you was in Uber? Like, I mean, who was the person that you said they was drunk?
He wasn't an Uber at all. He was just my neighbor, man, giving me a ride.
What happened to him? Is he okay?
I mean, he's all right. Like I say it with a smile because I mean, as much as I have a heart, I kind of don't care what happened. But I am glad that, I guess he's okay. He made it home to his daughter, never mind, like all the bullshit, as long as you made it home, I guess, and I think that's what matters, man. Like, it's still like, at the same time, no matter if you make it home, I feel like you still should own some kind of responsibility, you know what I mean? And not tell everybody, like, everything but what actually happened. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure in this case, he's doing just fine. He can still tell the story that he tells. And I mean, really, as he can see, there's nothing I really lied about. So, guess I'm laughing now while you're doing bad and broke. Your back was getting rolled, smoked. Anyway.
So what's next for you?
Let's see. I have plenty of work coming soon that I'm working on. I'm taking my time. I got a show this Friday. I have a show in the Bronx this Friday. Shout out to the birthplace of hip hop. Next month is about to be 50 years hip hop. Let's go. But yeah, I got a show on July 14th in the Bronx, and then I have a show like on the 21st in Secret Port in Brooklyn for the A-List Showcase. Shout out to Cuss Supreme and A Sharp and Life League Long for the for the opportunity.
What's up?
Yeah, man. I also got some things with this dude named DJ Design. Excuse me. DJ Design, he's a legend. So shout out to DJ Design. I got a couple things coming, man. Y'all just gotta stay tuned, man. I don't like to break code. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't Game Shark. You ain't working these codes yet.
You know about Game Shark. You said Game Shark. Then the Game Genie.
Oh yeah, what?
Oh yeah, you were saying you a gamer. So what kind of games you be playing?
Let's talk about it. I'm an old school gamer. Like I like to date back and play a lot of the modern shit. I'm really just a gamer in general, man. I play anything from Sega Genesis to Sega Saturn to Sega CD to Game Gear, Dreamcast, fucking Naomi. Let's talk about any other systems. Fuck Nintendo, but Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Super Game Boy, for those that know about Super Game Boy. What else? I can name you a bunch. Neo Geo. We can't forget about Neo Geo, though. SNK is like my shit, bro. Yo, SNK. Shout out SNK, man. You know what I mean? Play more. They've been the shit. What else? I got a Switch. I own a Switch. But I only own a Switch to play some of the modern games, and I'm game mobilely. So a lot of the times, if I own a bunch of systems. I own a PS4. I don't own a PS5, right? I don't care for that. I own a bunch of systems. I just don't have time to play them all the time. I own a Switch so I can play mobilely mostly, especially when I'm on the road. You know what I mean? I mean, what's the better game than Smash Brothers while playing that shit? Like with everybody on one tour bus or in one vicinity.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I gotta give me a Switch. I ain't got a Switch yet.
You got a Switch yet? Ooh. Yeah, man, my shit is right behind me right now, man. Oh man. Oh, let's talk about the others. I just copped. This came out like last October for my birthday. I just copped the Sega Genesis Mini 2. So
the what?
The mini Sega Genesis 2. They have a mini. They have two. I have both of them now, but yeah. We actually, which is ironic, when I had I just had my album release party on the 24th, like the day after my album release. We had it at Engine Room, New York City, and it was like downtown Manhattan. And no word of a lie, we had games in the actual party, and we had everything, literally everything. I had a whole modded Genesis, so anyone could play whatever they wanted. Everything. Then my man's had like my man Hershey, shout out Jay Hershey. He had the Raspberry Pi, so of course we had to get our games on. You know what I mean?
So you be streaming?
I don't stream like as much as I should. I really wish I was on it. It's funny because I was thinking about. It's funny because I was thinking about trying to get a capture card, and I never came to it, man. I caught up with with music and shit. So, and sometimes when I do have the time to stream, I can't. It's like I have to get up and just leave, or I can play games for 2 hours and then I'll be playing a game and then nothing happens. I think the last time I streamed was for The Last of Us 2.
Hey,
that game was.
I stream. I ain't saying I'm a big streamer, but I'm just saying that shit feel good when you get a check for streaming. You like, shit, I'm getting paid for playing a game. Yeah. That's the only way I really most time now is like only way I am playing if I'm streaming.
Bro, remember back in the day, you used to get paid, like you get paid to play video games, and I know you're from the era when parents are in your ear telling you you're never gonna this will never be a future.
Right.
Like this will, right. I know that because I was
video games all day. Yep.
Right. So there's no future in video games. I remember my mom, RIP, man, before she died, she told me, she was like, she was giving me options. Like, now they have jobs where you can become a video game tester. You like playing video games, right? And I remember back in the day, she used to tell me, like, all you do is play video games. You know what I mean? You can't play video games forever, boy. You have to go to school, go to work and find a job. This is me at like 6, 7, 8. She's telling me this. And then all of a sudden, when that became a popularity with video game testing, I was like probably around 12, 13. And she's telling me this shit now. It's funny how the fucking
the switch real quick, huh?
Yo, you were not saying that shit in the 90s. Now you want to say this shit? Heck, yo, I love you, man. R.I.P., man. R.I.P., mama. I love you. But yeah, you know what I mean? It used to fuck with me. It still fucks with me. You get paid to game. But even now, you don't even get paid as much as you do to test a game as you would to stream. To stream a game, 10 bands for that's crazy. What's that dude's name? Sinai, whatever his name is, Kai Sinai or whatever.
Yeah, Kai Sin.
Yeah, he was a streaming gamer, or I believe so, right? Am I wrong?
He started like that, yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
And then he became famous for everything else. Yeah. This nigga's making bread right now, man. He's chilling. This nigga I just saw some shit on World Star. This nigga blew up like fireworks in his crib. I would have never done that. But I guess you get paid for streaming, so it's a nice check. I would love that check.
If your crib big enough, you can do that shit. Shit. Depending how big your crib is.
I mean, I think I got a big enough crib.
But I will say, what would you like to say to your fans and supporters?
Yo, I would like to say to all my fans, my supporters, all my beloved, thank you for supporting me and my team. My guys and I work really hard, to provide the best music, the best things that not money can buy, but, that we could offer as human beings. So please, continue to support us as we'll try to support you in your Audible candy, and just check us out. Keep checking us out, man. There's a lot of big surprises coming, guys. I promise you, man. It's Sega 2023. You know what I'm saying? No games. And just peace, man. Just stay true and stay easy, man. You don't got a lot of time left in this world for the bullshit. Just smile. I do. And for those that are watching this, as what I just told you, and I'm smiling should give you some kind of insight.
Thanks. All right, bro. I want to say thanks for coming through Politickin with me.
PoPolitickin, you the man. I'm just visiting. Can you dig it?
I would say you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I got a big shout out to, you know what I mean, my man Jerry Graham, saying that's the God. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sean Munoz, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Subversive Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Shout out, I already shout out Nikki. Shout out my you know what I'm saying, Michelle, my sweetheart. And yeah, everybody that's been tuning in, I really hope you guys enjoy the album. I hope you guys enjoy what we give you. There's a lot of things coming soon, and stay tuned. Power on.
What's your social media?
You can find me on Instagram at AWOL Da Mindwriter. You can find me on Twitter at AWOL Mindwriter. And yeah, just type in AWOL Da Mindwriter in Google. You'll find me. I'm not hard to find, unless or Kid Sega, because that works too.